Good morning, Lacers. How's it going? Bonnie Violet here, a queer chaplain. This is day number 32 of the daily lives as part of the Lacing Your Narrative with a Spiritual Thread live stream workshop series. And this week, we are in our 6th week of the 8 weeks. And this week we are focusing on what is your ideal spirituality. What would you like it to be at some point, whether it's what you'd like in a week or 10 years or 20 years or whatever. What is your ideal? And so I have been super heady, which is what she does often. Been dealing with some emotions the last couple of days that kind of caught me off guard. So I've just been kind of like sitting with them. And not trying to think too much about it, but just sit with them. And so that's what I've been doing. And so looks like, I don't know why our connection isn't good when, I'm gonna switch real quick. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I guess I lost, you'd think after 32 of these, it would be pretty difficult to have mess ups, but technology, that's the way it goes. And also, I think just, anywho. So this week we are focusing on what is your ideal. Again, I apologize for having to kind of reorganize myself after getting kind of booted out, but still being live. So as I was saying, I can definitely kind of get in my head a little bit, and I was in some emotions and some feelings. And I've been on, it's interesting. I don't know that it's related, but I kind of just want to, I think maybe share a little bit about this because I haven't really shared too much. Just like I started estrogen last Thursday. And so it's been interesting to try to I've been trying to keep an eye out of any changes that might be happening. And they say your feel like the way you feel changes as in emotionally, but also touch, heat, cold, that sort of thing can seem a little different. So I've been really kind of oh, is that it? Is that it? In that sort of mind space of curiosity and excitement for sure. But when I can get heady and when I can get in that space, sometimes it's helpful to have prompts or listen or watch something else. And so I came across this individual on TikTok. I've seen this person, Jasmine Gardens, share before through TikTok, but another friend had posted this adorable, who is a drag artist that I worked with a couple weeks ago. So I was going to play this video and then maybe say some stuff afterwards.
I think we spend so much of our time looking for our purpose, we don't even realize that we're walking in it, and have been for quite some time. And it's probably because we're trying to conform to society's concept of a purpose. But do you think a bee or a squirrel knows that it's reproducing life when it's looking for its next meal? 9 times out of 10, it's just doing what feels natural. So here's my question. Why do we limit our purpose to one major moment or contribution in life when we have so many moments where we contribute purposeful things, even if it's not purposeful to us but to someone else? Why do we feel as if our purpose doesn't grow and change day to day as we do? Maybe we should stop telling people to find their purpose and just start teaching people to be intentional. Maybe your purpose today is to help a friend laugh as they're fighting to focus through their tears. And maybe tomorrow it's for you to try a new recipe or a new restaurant just for the purpose of experience. Maybe our purpose in life is just to start doing things on purpose instead of out of programming.
Wow, that's a lot. I think I might play a little bit again and then stop and talk.
Hear me out. I think we spend so much of our time looking for our purpose, we don't even realize that we're walking in it and have been for quite some time. And it's
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the whole idea of just kind of trying to be present. And I think sometimes that can be trying so hard to try to make my life matter or to find purpose or to have purpose that it's, sometimes not able to stay in the now with it all. So I think there's definitely a part of my ideal of be able to have an understanding of my spirituality and all that with, that I can wear, I guess a lot of people say a loose garment.
probably because we're trying to conform to society's concept of a purpose. But do you think a bee or a squirrel knows that it's reproducing life when it's looking for its next meal? 9 times out of 10, it's just doing what feels natural. So here's
And I think part of that is those expectations that I know that I've worked hard to let go of is that idea of what success means in this country. Money, paying bills, certain titles, all those things I had to give up recently, or that I gave up recently. But I think it's I think I can definitely get caught up in that. And I feel like a lot of the world is created to, for you to have to meet certain criteria in order to exist, in order to have food, in order to have safe housing, in order to have access to healthcare, in order to enjoy life and have access to even say luxuries or pleasantries.
my question. Why do we limit our purpose to one major moment or contribution in life when we have so many moments where we contribute purposeful things?
Mm-hmm. That makes me think of purpose being in one moment. I remember, getting to start Alpha as young as I did, the HIV/AIDS organization, and that being such an awesome experience. And I felt so big, which is it's hard for me to say, but I felt really important. I felt very larger than life. I felt like I was doing something beyond me that was greater than me. Like I was part of something bigger than me. Which was a really awesome experience. But I remember when leaving it, there was this idea of how do I top that? And I think that's kind of part of a part of either my mentality or what I came to learn is this idea that I have to continue to up my game. I have to continue to do better and better and better each time, which is interesting. So I didn't know how I could top what I did in my 20s. In running an HIV and AIDS organization in my 30s. But I think this is where some of that thinking changed, but also I'm noticing where some of that thinking is still happening. So in creating these podcasts and doing all these sorts of things, I was talking with my therapist this morning about how, I want every time for new projects to look better than the last. And this new project that I'm working on is not quite at the level that I had anticipated that it would be. And it's not at the same level that I am in some of my other projects. And so I've been really kind of struggling with that. But I think, again, it's that mentality of having to top my purpose, or maybe that has nothing to do with that, but that came to mind. And then also I feel the same way. I've heard a lot of people say about drag, I want to get better and better with each time. Maybe sometimes the, I don't know, the big thing is just to do it maybe just me becoming a drag queen was enough, and that's the goal. I don't know, definitely some things to think about a little bit more. Oh, and the one thing I did want to say when I did leave the HIV/AIDS organization, I remember I had this strong desire to just be ordinary, just to be, I just wanted to be the people that I worked with, the people that I was trying to help, with people living with HIV, with queer people. It's like, let me just be one for a while. I remember I had this desire to just be ordinary, partly because being extraordinary in my mind. And again, I hope that you're understanding, like, I feel like I speak so badly about the way that I once was, but good morning, herding cats. It's great to see you on here again. But because of my relationship with my role and my responsibility and my purpose, it isolated me, and it really caused me to find myself in a very lonely place where I felt like I didn't have friends, and I didn't have connections because I had to be this person to everyone. And again, that was my toxic relationship with that sort of way of existing, and really toxic relationship with myself. And so when I moved to Chicago, I really strove and tried to just be ordinary, thinking that that might create space for me to have more connection with friends and family, maybe even date and love. And that kind of sort of happened. But I think even more recently, I think when I got into Al-Anon 3 years ago, around after I kind of found myself again. I mean, this is like another 10 years after, Alpha, and I'm kind of finding myself in that same place, at 10 years sober, where I was like looking around and feeling like my life had gotten really small as far as the people in it, relationships with my family, which I was wanting to have more of one, which is why I moved back to the West Coast, to San Francisco. But I was so unhappy, and I was so sad and depressed, and I felt really alone. And I really came to the realization that, it was kind of how I had formed my life and had formed relationships, and it was a product of the way that I was existing. And that if I wanted to have more connection or different connection, I had to find a way to be different, to open up, so that I could have those connections in a way in which that I wanted, so that I could feel it. I remember I was like I was doing all the things that I needed to do to try to connect. I was really active in my recovery, and I was working with my mentors, and I was working with spiritual leaders, and I was doing all the things. I was trying to call my family pretty regularly. I was doing all the things, and I just felt like so disconnected. I remember even going in drag and doing events and just not even feeling like I could connect with people. And that was almost more, I think that seemed harder than just staying at home by myself, like to actually go out and then try to connect with people. And then not to be able to do that was really frustrating for me. And it's still something that I think I really have a hard time doing, is really getting to that space. So I think my ideal spirituality definitely would allow me to be connected with more people in a way that felt correct, and like it's feeding me, like it's a good thing for me. It's a desire that I have. And so it's a desire that I have, but it's definitely not, I'm not in a space of desperation with it all. I'm okay on my own, and I'm okay with the way that my relationships are, but I do have a desire to be in deeper relationship with people. And I think that just and that's the desire that I have from spirituality. It's like I desire to have a relationship with a God, or with the God of my understanding. Not that I have to have it, or that I'm desperate for it, but just that I would like to have it. I have a desire for it in my life. So that's kind of where I'm at with it now. But desperation was a big part of my opening up, if you will. and the pain that caused me to make some changes.
Even if it's not purposeful to us but to someone else. Why do we feel as if our purpose doesn't grow and change day to day as we do? Maybe we should stop telling people to find their purpose and just start teaching people to be intentional. Maybe your purpose today is to help a friend laugh as they're fighting to focus through their tears. And maybe tomorrow it's for you to try a new recipe or a new restaurant just for the purpose of experience. Maybe our purpose in life is just to start doing things on purpose instead of out of programming.
Mm. Yeah. Yes, it's an interesting balance for me of thinking so much and having intention and also just being and existing, and kind of going with what's there, rather than trying to create something or manufacture something or push towards something. So I'll put the link in the description for folks who don't get to watch and just listen to Jasmine Gardens 23. But I'll put her information in there. And I really just appreciate her presence on TikTok and the things that she has to say. I love her aesthetic too. She looks so fun. But anywho, I hope that you all are having a good week and continuing on creating your ideal higher power or God or spirituality or understanding of that. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.